Alrighty, we are back with the season finale between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Washington Nationals. For the D-backs, we have Kohl Drake on the mound, Miles Mikolas for the Washington Nationals. Should be a pretty great game. Hoping it's a great game. It's been great all series. And I will start off this stream with just talking about the Curtis Mead and Connor Early. Is that how you say his name? That big trade between the Boston Red Sox and Washington Nationals. I was pretty surprised, honestly, because Curtis Mead has just been super solid in the lineup this year, so I was pretty surprised to see that they gave that bat away, but I guess they could probably use the pitching, but we'll see how that pans out. And just like that, we're going to get this ball game started. It's going to be Corbin Carroll to lead off the top of the first. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be an outside sinker, high and away for ball one. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another outside sinker. Misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. That's going to be another outside pitch on the curveball. It's going to be 3 straight balls to start this game for Miles Mikolas. And I'm not going to lie, I did notice the ERA for Mikolas going into this game. That's going to be in there for strike one, top of the zone. I'm hoping the D-backs can take advantage of that. Especially if a 3-7 record. Mikolas just has not been a solid pitcher this season. Three balls, one strike. The Corbin Carroll. That's going to be a great pitch. As it was in the lower left corner. It's going to be now a full count. That's going to be a high fly ball. That'll get out to right field. James Wood is going to get under it. And that's going to be out number 1. There's a great recovery by Mikolas here to work a full count. And Corbin Carroll just gets under it. That's going to be a first pitch curveball. It's going to miss for ball 1. Perdomo, he's definitely been in a slump recently. I'm hoping he can get it going with the bat today. He is just not looked very good. He has been getting on base, but still, like, as the season has been going on, he's just making a lot of base running errors, getting caught on the base paths, and he's just not looked very comfortable out there. Maybe 2 balls, 1 strike to Perdomo, though. Two one. That's going to be inside. What a great take by Perdomo, though. Can't knock him on that. His play discipline has been still exceptionally well. Going to be 3 balls and 1 strike. Great chance for Perdomo to get on base here if he can work a walk. That's going to be a sinker that's low. What a great at-bat by Perdomo. And that's going to be a runner on first base. 1 out, and here comes Gabriel Moreno. And I think the biggest key for the D-backs is even if they don't get runs scored, just working that pitch count, just making Mikolas work. Eventually, he's going to crumble, and the D-backs are going to be able to take advantage. That's going to be a great slider to start the at-bat for strike one, though. It's going to be Gabriel Moreno, and then Ketel Marte back in the cleanup spot once again. He's going to be on deck. No balls, one strike. That's going to be a shot down the third base line. That's going to go all the way to the corner. And Perdomo's rounding third base. He's going to go home. And he's going to get in there. No play at all at the plate. And just like that, the Diamondbacks strike first. Get a run on the board as Gabriel Moreno punches one in the left field down the line. And what a great piece of hitting by Moreno right there. Brady House tries to make a play at third base, but just gets by him. And the D-backs strike early in this one. Would love to see that. And I believe Moreno was able to get into second. Yes, he was. Love to see that. Here we go. It's gonna be Ketel Marte now up to bat. And I don't know why I said there was no play at the plate. There was. It was pretty late though. Let's be honest. And that's gonna be a rip by Ketel Marte. It's at the Nunez at second base. He's gonna field that cleanly, throw to first. That's gonna be the second out. Runner does move up to third base though. That's gonna bring up Max Kepler, who's getting the start today in left field. Has a chance to make it 2-0 if he can get Moreno across. And that's going to be a fastball. Apparently just misses. That looked pretty good on the outside, but not according to the umpire. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch to Kepler. And that's going to be well outside this time on the sinker for... I'm sorry, I don't know why I put strike one. It was ball one, now it's ball two. If Kepler can take advantage of this. And that's going to be a great fastball that nibbles the corner and the inside. Another great fastball there. Just flips the outside of the zone for strike two, and Mikolas is able to work it back to an even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled away. As Mikolas would just love to limit this to a 1-run inning. And that's absolutely his objective right now. Just cannot think about the 1 run that's already scored. Just got to come at Kepler. Here's a big pitch. That's going to be fouled away again. Out of play. I'm sorry, I'm getting like really weird static in my headphones. You see me like fidgeting weird, it's because I'm trying to do anything to fix it. Anyway, once again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Wow. Another pitch that clips inside of the zone on the corner, like high. And I would have challenged that. I mean, I know it's early, but I think that was strike 3. It's now going to be a full count. Kepler's going to call time. And Mikolas already at 22 pitches. So if he can't get Kepler out here, it's gonna get pretty scary with the pitch count in this inning. And as I mentioned, it's gonna be a big key for these D-backs just working that pitch count today. Here's the full count pitch. Oh my gosh. Okay, I was about to say, it was called a ball initially on the top of the zone. Washington is gonna challenge. I was about to say, if Washington does not challenge that, I don't know what to say. That is gonna be strike 3. And that is gonna get Mikolas out of the top of the first, but not before Gabriel Moreno. It's an RBI double down the third baseline to make it a 1-0 lead for the D-backs early in this game. We're gonna head to the bottom of the first. 1-0 Diamondbacks. If Washington would not have challenged that, I understand it's the first inning, but like you have a chance to get out of this inning, take it, you know. So I was just so shocked because I initially did not see Ford, um, who's playing behind the dish today. I didn't see him tap his head, so I'm assuming that was Mikolas, but that was very interesting. A great start for the Diamondbacks. Gabby Moreno continues his on base streak. He has just been phenomenal at the plate. I'm so glad we recently moved him to the third spot. I think it's where he belongs. And I'm not really still sure how I feel about Ketel Marte being in the cleanup. You know, I think it should go Carroll, Ketel, and then Moreno. I understand Toy Lavella might still want to have, confidence in Perdomo. I don't know, he got on base, so but just looking at like his hitless at bats, it's just if he can't get on base via a walk, it doesn't look too great for him, you know. For Washington, that's gonna bring up James Wood, Andres Chaparro, and Drew Cruz. That would be a cool name, Dylan Cruz. He's actually gonna bat in the third hole today. And that's going to bring up Kohl Drake on the mound, who I'm excited to see pitch today. He looked excellent in his debut that he had against the Athletics. Only gave up 1 earned run in 5 innings. Unfortunately, did not get the win due to the bullpen blowing it, but the D-backs eventually got the win in extra innings. But or yeah, no, it was extra innings. Yeah, it's going to be a 1-ball, 1-strike count to James Wood to get this started. I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but does James Wood have a Naruto belt on? That's going to be a swing and miss at the high fastball. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything, but like I see the red clouds that doesn't have to do with Sasuke or something like that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the curveball. Comes up empty. And that's going to be strike 3. 1 out. And just like that's going to bring up Andres Chaparro. I just love rolling the R. Here's the first pitch. And that's going to be a first pitch. That's going to be a drive to left center. That's going to go all the way to the warning track. Batawa is going to be able to get under it. That's going to be a quick out number 2. That looked pretty scary off the bat, not going to lie. He definitely got a hold of that one, but it just dies down at the warning track. And it's going to be 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Dylan Cruz in the 3-hole. And if Kohl Drake can get out of this inning right here on this batter very quickly, what a great first inning it would be. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a cutter, clips the bottom of the zone for strike 1. And 0-1 count. That's going to be in the dirt for ball 1. So yeah, I'm assuming that Brady House at third base, he's going to be getting a lot more playing time with the trade. Sending Curtis Mead to Boston. Connolly early. Okay, I thought his name was Connor. That's going to be driven to right center. That's going back. That's going to be off the wall. That's going to be an extra base hit for Cruz. He's going to stop at second base, and just like that, the Nationals have something cooking. Because they're going to have a runner on second base with 2 outs and an opportunity to tie this game and match the D-backs. As that was a drive to right center field. He goes opposite field. And I thought that might have gotten out there for a second, but just hits the wall. And yeah, runner on second base with 2 outs, and that's going to bring up C.J. Abrams, Even with a lefty pitcher on the mound, this could get interesting. Here's the first pitch to Abrams. That's going to be a slider. That's outside for ball one. It's going to be a tough at bat for Kohl Drake on the mound. Definitely don't want to mess around with him, even with being a lefty on the mound. I believe they just said he has the most RBIs in Major League Baseball. I could be wrong, but that's insane for a shortstop. And that's going to be a cutter. Misses outside. As Kohl Drake just does not want to give him anything good to hit this at bat. Okay, he's at least leading the National League RBIs. I don't know about the majors, but that's going to be a shot to center. And luckily, it's going to be right to Tim Tawa. Doesn't have to move much in center field. And just like that, it's going to remain a 1-0 lead for the Diamondbacks as Kohl Drake is able to get out of that. Even with the runner in scoring position on second, we're going to head to the top of the second inning. 1-0 Diamondbacks. I mean, every time C.J. Abrams is up to bat, I get a little nervous, not gonna lie, especially after that game yesterday. Righty. Give me 1 second. Alright, here we go. And just like that, that's going to bring it for the D-backs. It's going to be Nolan Arenado, Adrian Del Castillo, and Tyler Locklear. I am very excited to see Locklear back in the lineup after that game in St. Louis. And maybe he was in the lineup for the first game. I didn't quite catch that one. But after the game in St. Louis, that was his breakout game. Exactly what he needed ever since being called up after putting up those numbers in AAA, you know what I mean? That's what you want to see out of him. That's the kind of production you want to see out of your first base. Alright. That's going to be a first pitch strike to Nolan Arenado. As Mikolas did have to go 20 plus pitches in the first inning, so if the D-backs can replicate that, that'd be very nice. It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike, as Arenado is able to hold off on the check swing. It's going to be, alright, I already said it, never mind. That's going to be a check swing. Another one is Arenado's able to hold up. It's going to be 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a line drive right to C.J. Abrams. He's going to corral that easily. And that's going to be thrown on the first base for out number 1. Great contact by Arenado there, but just right to Abrams. As so far, the D-backs have had pretty quality at-bats. A great sign after yesterday's ball game, after they did not look good. He's going to drive that. He just gets under it as it dies at the warning track. That ball had a lot of carry to it. Wow. That was a shot off the bat. It just kept carrying and carrying, and I thought it was gonna die like somewhere in the outfield. Then it started going to the warning track. I was like, okay. But that's gonna be out number 2, and it looks like Mikolas. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Not Michaelis, so it has to be Mikolas, right? That's gonna be an inside sinker for ball 1. to Tyler Locklear, who, as I mentioned, is getting the start at first base today. Kind of surprised, though, that he's batting in the 8th hole. I know he had that one breakout game in St. Louis, but I feel like you could confidently put him in, like, 6th hole at least. That's going to be strike 1, as it's now a 2-ball, 1-strike count. And that's going to be a chopper right back to the pitcher. He's going to underhand that the first, and a very quick inning for Miles Mikolas. What a great recovery from him after that first. And that's going to bring us to the bottom of the 2nd inning. D-backs still leading 1-0. Guys, I'm sorry if my commentary is not the best. It's a pretty early game. Not like super early, but definitely the earliest one I've called so far. But I hope everyone's having a great day today. Just gonna post my stream on the socials really quick. And for the Nationals, that's gonna bring up Brady House, Jacob Young, and Harry Ford. The 5, 6, 7 hitters. That's gonna be a first pitch strike to Brady House. And Brady House is gonna foul that one off. That's gonna be a 0-2 count. That fastball is gonna miss upstairs for ball 1. Alright, now I'm focused. Here we go. Sorry about that. That's going to be fouled off. Count remains the same on the changeup. He fouls that one off. And as I mentioned, Brady House looking to get a lot more playing time after Curtis Mead gets traded to Boston. The young 23. And that's going to be an opposite field shot. That's going to get over the head of Corbin Carroll all the way to the wall. And that's going to be an extra base hit for Brady House. Love to see that for the kid. As I mentioned, he's going to get a lot more playing time now. Just like that's going to be a runner on second base with no outs. And the Nationals once again have an opportunity to tie this game. As even with Corbin Carroll's speed in right field, that gets over his head. As that was the 8th double for Brady House on the season. That's going to bring up Jacob Young, the center fielder, who yesterday he was just fielding everything in center. It didn't matter where the ball was hit. He was just running that thing down. As he's very fun to watch in center field. That's going to be strike 1 to Jacob Young. He is 2 for 6 in this series. 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a single up the middle. That's going to go to Tim Toller. They're going to send Brady House to the home plate. And just like that, Washington ties this game up 1-1 in the bottom of the second inning as Jacob Young hits a blooper into center field. Not even a blooper, that was a line drive. And with the quick speed from Brady House, there was no way there was going to be a play at the plate there. And just like that, the Nationals strike back. It's going to be a tied ball game 1-1. As already, it's getting super competitive, as it has been all series. And that's going to be a high cutter for ball 1, 2, carry forward. Who's getting the start behind the dish? That curveball is going to miss inside for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes to forward. That's going to be ball 3 on the fastball. Just misses. And Kohl Drake's just got to recover after that RBI single. That's going to be a strike on the inside part of the zone for strike 1. Three balls, 1 strike. That's going to miss upstairs for ball 4. As Kohl Drake having a tougher inning than he did in the first. That's going to be runners on first and second with still no outs. And that's going to bring up Luis Garcia Jr., who I'm very surprised is hitting in the 8th hole. I'm assuming it has to do with the lefty on lefty matchup, but still pretty surprising with how great he's been at the plate this season. As Kohl Drake desperately needs at least 1 out on his at-bat. A double play would be nice, but... And Garcia, he's 0 for 5 in the series. So 21 home runs. He's having a great year. Here's the first pitch. It's going to be in the dirt. Great stop by Moreno behind the dish. That's going to be ball 1, though. As it's going to be interesting how Kohl Drake can recover here. In his major league debut, only gave it 1 earned run, so already given 1 up early. He's kind of in a different position right here. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be fouled out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Drake sets. Here's the pitch. The questionable strike called. Looks like it just was outside of the outside zone on the corner, but that's going to be called strike. Luis Garcia does not challenge that. It's going to be 1 balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be popped up. And that's going to be a play for Nolan Arenado in foul territory. And that's going to be out number 1. And that's going to be a great recovery for Kohl Drake right there to get at least 1 out. It's going to bring up Nasim Nunez. He's batting in the 9th hole. He's 0 for 5 this series. And even if Kohl Drake is able to get a ground ball for a potential double play, it's going to be very tough with Nunez's speed. That's going to be a pop-up on the next pitch. And that's going to be in foul territory. Ketel Marte makes the catch. He's going to throw the third base as Jacob Young is advancing. And actually, both runners are able to advance. Wow. What great base running by the Nationals there. And just like that, both runners are able to advance on the out and foul territory. As that was an off-balance throw by Ketel Marte. Has to get his feet set very quick. And Arenado tries going back to second base, but kind of bobbled it. And just like that, it's going to be runners on second and third base with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up James Wood, the top of the order, as this is a big out right here that Kohl Drake needs to get. That's going to be a strike one curveball. And I'm hoping that the lefty on lefty matchup can be effective right here, as Kohl Drake needs to get out of this inning with runners on second and third base. That's going to be a fastball that just misses the outside of the zone. As if Kohl Drake can strand these runners, that would be ideal right here. One pitch. That's going to be a fastball in there for strike 2. And Kohl Drake is ahead. Does not need to give him anything great to hit right here. Drake sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball just down the first baseline for foul. One ball, 2 strikes. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. This is a big at bat. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball, but right to Ketel Marte. He's able to snag that. He's going to throw to first, and that's going to be a great out right there. And just like that, it's going to remain a 1-1 tied ball game as we head to the top of the third inning, as Kohl Drake does a great job of getting out of the inning there behind some great defense. What a great snag by Ketel Marte right there. Kind of ate him up a little bit, has to go to the ground a bit, but able to recover and throw a strike to first base. 1-1 tied still. Got a bit scary for a second, especially with James Wood at the plate, but D-backs able to get out of that. And Tim Tall is going to lead this off. He's going to pop that one up right to the third baseman, Brady House. That's going to be an easy out number 1. That's going to bring up the top of the lineup for the D-backs, Corbin Carroll. That's going to be a curveball, misses inside in the dirt for ball 1. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside for ball 2 on the changeup. Two balls, no strikes. Great pitch to hit as he pops that one up. Once again, right to the third baseman, Brady House. And just like that, 2 pop-ups to Brady House. That's going to be out number 2 as Corbin Carroll very frustrated on that. As that was a slider right down the middle. And all Carroll can do is just pop that one up. Definitely not happy with that one. That's going to be a quick 2 outs with Geraldo Perdomo up to bat. That sinker's going to get in there for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. That's going to be a line drive to right field. And that's actually going to get out of here for a home run, a solo shot. As that was a laser off the bat. I thought it might have gone off at least a wall, but that's going to be a 356 home run for Perdomo. And just like that, it's going to be a 2-1 ball game in favor of the Diamondbacks as Perdomo. I was talking about how he has been in a bit of a slump at the plate. And just like that, he's coming alive. He drives at the right field. It's not great pitch location from Mikolas there. And that's going to bring up Gabriel Moreno. As once again, this looks like it's going to be a back and forth ball game. D-backs score, National score. And this time it's the D-backs. Oh my gosh, it's Mikolas. The broadcast team just said that. It's not Mikolas. Jeez, I'm so sorry. To me, it felt like Mikolas, but it's Mikolas. Okay, Mikolas. Mikolas. Gotta start saying that. And Moreno's going to be down early 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be a slider low for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes to Moreno. Here's the pitch. And that sinker is just going to miss outside for ball 2. And Gabby's going to call time. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That's going to be a drive to left center. Another one that's getting back there to the warning track. But Jacob Young is going to get there for out number 3. As the D-backs making great contact. Some of them, they're just getting a little bit under it. But Perdomo's, that was not the case. As he once again drives a solo shot to right field. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Now the D-backs have the lead 2-1. That was a shot by Perdomo. I didn't think it honestly had the distance off the bat. I thought at least it would have been off the wall, but it had a lot of carry to it, actually. I gotta get better at that kind of judging balls off the bat. Sometimes it'll be a lazy fly ball, and I'm here like, oh my gosh, that's a drive, but it's not really. And in that case, I didn't think that was gonna go that far, and it was a home run, so I gotta get better at that. As I mentioned, you love to see that out of Perdomo, who's just been struggling at the plate recently. He's been able to get on base, due to base on balls, but definitely swinging the bat, he just has not been as effective. That's going to bring up the 2-3-4 hitters for the Nationals: Chaparro, Dylan Cruz, and CJ Abrams. The first pitch to Chaparro, going to be a curveball that misses low. That's going to be a swing and miss on the changeup for strike one. That's going to be a fly ball to center field. Tim Tawa just before the warning track. He's going to catch that for out number one. As so far, the balls are just flying off the bat for both sides in this game. A lot of baseballs being hit that just have a lot of carry to them. That's going to bring up Dylan Cruz in the 3-hole today. As he had a great double in his first at-bat to opposite field. That cutter's going to miss inside for ball one. Count is even at 1-1. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the cutter for strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Drake starts his windup. Here's the pitch. That changeup's going to miss outside. Cruz does not bite for ball two. Two pitch. That's going to be fouled out of play. That's going to be a fly ball to right center. Cruz just gets a bit under it, though. Corbin Carroll's going to get under that for the second out. And just like that, 2 outs for Kohl Drake, who's having a much better inning after that last one. That's going to bring up CJ Abrams. He lined out in the first inning. That's going to be a swing and miss on the curveball for strike one. And so far, if Drake can just keep that great location on the curveball, Nationals coming up with a lot of swing and misses. Once again, another swing and miss on the curveball. It's going to be strike two. And right away, Kohl Drake with an opportunity to make this a quick inning. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be another fly ball. Going back to the wall. And that's going to get out of here for a home run for CJ8. Oh my, never mind. I thought that got out of here for a second, but essentially, it's actually going to be a triple. As the umpires are calling it that it just hit the top of the wall. I could have swore that got out of here. As CJ Abrams thinks the same. And the umpires are going to have a discussion about this. That was very close. I got to see a replay on this. Is that ball carried to left center? Let's see the replay. And Washington is going to challenge this potential home run. Wow. It just hits the metal at the top of the wall. I do actually think this is not going to be a home run. It literally missed being a home run by like a hair. In the meantime, it will be a triple for CJ Abrams. Nonetheless, a great hit by him. Hey Peptrill260, welcome to the stream. Yeah, CJ Abrams, especially yesterday as well, he's just continuing on with the great hitting in this series. Here's the thing, it hit the top of the padding of the wall. But there's like a 5-inch piece of metal that's above the padding of the wall, and it definitely stayed below that. So it's going to be interesting what they call this. I mean, we're going to get a call soon. Here we go. And they do call it a home run. And it's going to be a tied ball game, 2-2, as CJ Abrams goes deep again in his second straight game. And Torey Lovullo, the D-backs manager, is going to come out to talk to the ump. And to be fair, it is pretty confusing. As you would think the metal piece above the padded wall is a part of the wall, but they're going to still call us a home run right here. And once again, another back and forth ball game, as I mentioned. That's going to bring up Brady House. He's going to foul off that changeup. It's going to be an even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one's going to go to right center this time, to the warning track. And Tim Tallwell, right before the wall, makes that catch. As these balls are just flying off the bat for both sides. This is crazy. That is going to end the bottom of the 3rd inning, as CJ Abrams is able to tie the game right back with a solo shot of his own. And we're going to head to the top of the 4th inning. Tied ball game, 2-2. So to my knowledge, assuming this is what the umpires are talking about, but the metal part just above the padded wall is not necessarily accounted for when deciding if it's a home run or not. I guess as long as it's above the padded wall, the metal part is not a part of it. And yeah, CJ Abrams continuing his amazing season. And as I mentioned yesterday, just having a power hitting shortstop in your cleanup spot is just such an amazing thing to have in your lineup. Yeah, once again, Pep Show 260. Welcome to the And for the D-backs, that's going to bring up the 4-5-6 hitters with Ketel Marte leading off the top of the fourth. It's going to get in there for strike one on the curveball. That's going to be a fly ball to right center. Young going back. And that's going to get out of here for a shot. Oh my gosh, the balls are flying today. It's going to be a solo shot for Ketel Marte of his own. And Ketel Marte, his second time in his career hitting in the cleanup spot in the lineup, and hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark, 411 feet. And the D-backs are going to strike right back of, oh my goodness. Every ball that's being hit into the outfield just has so much carry to it. And just like that, the D-backs strike back 3-2 now. That ball just kept carrying and carrying. I thought Jacob Young might have a play on it at the wall, but this is a very great game to call right now. It's going to bring up Max Kepler, who's has an even count, 1-1. Now going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. And that's going to be a line drive, but just gets out of play. Nice rip by Kepler there, but just in front of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two count. That's going to be grounded foul. And that's going to be a rip, but right to James Wood. As Kepler was just making great contact in that at bat. That would have had a chance to do some damage off the bat there, but right to James Wood. He doesn't have to move much. That's going to be allowed out number 1. That's going to bring him Nolan Arenado. He's 0 for 1. Grounded it out in the second inning. And that's going to be grounded to Nunez at second base. And what a great job by Michaelis to get to first base. As given where the infielders were playing, that was a very tough play on both sides for Nunez just to get to that ball. And then Michaelis has to get there in a hurry to first base, and he's able to catch it, step on the bag, and that's going to be out number 2. Because Michaelis had to hustle over there. As most of the time it's like a slow chopper and you have a lot of time to get the first, but that was a shot off the bat. Michaelis had no time to get over there, but nonetheless still does. That's going to bring up Adrian Del Castillo with 2 outs. Maybe a 1-1 count for Adrian Del Castillo. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a line drive right in front of James Wood. This time he cannot get to it. Just drops right in front of him. And that's going to be a base knock for ADC. As the D-backs are seeing the ball well against him. That's going to bring up Tyler Locklear. 2 outs and a runner on first base. That's going to be in there for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. That's going to be another sinker in there for strike 2. Michaelis sets. That's going to be a low slider for ball 1. And already, looks like there's some action in Washington's bullpen. It's going to be Matt Crook who's warming up. That's going to be fouled back. And Michaelis already at 60 pitches. And it's pretty interesting that they already have a pitcher warming up. I would understand if there was a runner in a scoring position right here, but Michaelis definitely has a chance to get out of this. And that's actually gonna graze Tyler Locklear. And that's gonna be a hit by pitch. It's gonna be runners on first and second with 2 outs. Where did that hit him? Because I didn't even think that hit him. I think it just grazed his batting glove. And it's still going to be 2 outs. Runners on first and second. That's going to bring up Tim Tawa in the 9th spot. And that's going to bring out the pitching coach to have a word with Michaelis. And Tim Tawa, he's 0 for 1 so far. An opportunity to extend this lead with a runner in scoring position. He popped out in the 3rd inning. That's going to miss upstairs on the sinker for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. That's going to be another pop-up. It's going to stay in play. And it looks like Garcia's just going to get under that. It's going to be out number 3, unfortunately. But the D-backs strike back once again with another home run as Ketel Marte goes to right center. And just like that, it's going to be a 3-2 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. And the way this game is going, I would not be surprised if the Nationals hit a home run of their own to tie the game. Hoping that doesn't happen, obviously, but it's just been that kind of ball game. It seems like each fly ball is just at least going to the warning track. What a great game to witness, though, if you're watching it at the Washington ballpark. All right, and that's going to bring up Jacob Young to lead off the bottom of the fourth. He's going to be first pitch swinging. That's going to be a fly ball to center field. And Tim Talwa is going to get under that. One of the few fly balls that did not have a lot of carry to it. And just like that's going to be a quick out number one. Here comes Harry Ford, the catcher. Harry Ford had a base on balls in his first at bat. That's going to be strike one at the top of the zone. And Drake right now is at 50 pitches. That cutter's going to miss inside for ball one. Count is even. One ball, one strike. That's going to be a great changeup. Just clips the outside of the zone for strike two. One ball, two strikes. And Ford is going to take that one outside for ball two. Luis Garcia Jr. awaits on deck. That's going to be a drive to center field. Tim Talwa's going to get under that once again. That's going to be out number two. And once again, two outs, and that's going to bring it Luis Garcia Jr. And now it looks like Riley Cornelio is actually going to be warming up in the Nationals bullpen. Here's the first pitch to Garcia. That's going to be fouled off for strike one. Oh one. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the outside slider for strike two. I mean, as long as Drake can just keep the ball down, he's looking pretty good so far. No balls, two strikes, two outs. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. Corbin Carroll's going to get under that. And that's going to be out number three. Three straight fly balls, three straight outs. And that's going to end the fourth inning. We're going to go to the top of the fifth. D-backs still leading 3-2. It's going to be interesting to see what the Nationals do with Michaelis on the mound. His pitch count, it's in the 60s, so it's not like really high, and Nationals only down by 1 run. So, but it's been very interesting to see already 2 different pitchers warming up in the bullpen. And I don't know if you're still in the live stream pep trail, but essentially, I'm a Diamondbacks fan, and so I basically just stream myself live commentating the D-back games. Um, but I'm not biased at all. I'm just looking to commentate some great games. I give credit where credit is due. Um, so if you are a Nationals fan, anytime the D-backs are playing the Nationals, you are more than welcome to join the stream and talk some ball in the chat or just enjoy the stream. I'm still pretty fairly new. I started this like a week ago, so I do apologize if I kind of stumble on my words or the sentences don't come out the best, you know. Um, Today I have not been as sharp, I will admit that, but this has just been a great series to commentate. Each game has just been competitive. And wow, Michaelis actually did come out of the ballgame. That's going to bring up Riley Cornelio, with a 6.06 ERA, 8 appearances. And Corbin Carroll is going to be ahead 1-0. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside for ball 2. Is Michaelis, he just must not have a long leash on him in terms of pitch count, or they just didn't like what they saw. Very surprising they didn't at least give him one more inning. And that's going to be a rip to right field. That's going to go all the way to the wall, and Corbin Carroll's going to have extra bases. James Wood is able to corral that ball very fast, so I thought Corbin Carroll might have a chance at rounding second base, but he's going to get into second base with a lead-off double. Love to see that for Corbin Carroll, as he's still trying to get on track and out of a recent slump he's been in. And with a combination of James Wood having a great arm, and he gets that ball pretty fast, Corbin Carroll only able to get into second base. But now a runner on second base, no outs, and the D-backs with a chance to extend the lead. That's going to bring up Geraldo Perdomo, who had a great solo shot earlier in the game. Here's the first pitch to him. That's going to be a nice slider. Just clips the outer top of the zone. No balls, 1 strike. As another pitch that just clips the top of the zone. Great pitch location from Cornelio right there. Going to be no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And Perdomo's going to chop that one just down the third baseline for a foul ball. And Perdomo's had a great game so far. He walked in his first at-bat, had a home run in his second. Much better showing for him. As of late, he's been struggling. No balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be in the dirt for ball 1. And with Corbin Carroll's speed on second base, you don't necessarily need a hit in the gap. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's going to go all the way to the backstop. Almost hits Perdomo. And Corbin Carroll is going to advance to third base on that. As it's now going to be a runner on third base. No outs. Count is even at 2-2 to Perdomo. As Perdomo had to do everything to get out of the way of that pitch. Infield playing in. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in the dirt. Perdomo checks the swing, and he did not go. And it's now going to be a full count. Three balls, 2 strikes. Cornelio is set. Here's the pitch. And that's just going to miss inside on the slider. What a great take from Perdomo there, as he has seen the ball well today. And that's going to be a walk for Perdomo, his second of the ball game. And just like that, runners on the corners with still no outs. And that's going to bring out the pitching coach to talk to Cornelio. I like that name, Cornelio. And that's going to bring up the hot hitting catcher, Gabriel Moreno, in the 3-hole. Had a great RBI double in his first at-bat. It's going to be Moreno on deck, Ketel Marte. We had the great home run early on to give the D-backs the 3-2 lead. As the Diamondbacks absolutely need to capitalize here. Moreno steps into the box. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a fastball. Just clips the outside of the zone for strike 1. And Gabriel Moreno has driven in a run in 5 straight games, so he is on a tear right now. That's going to be fouled off in the dirt for strike 2. Moreno down early. No balls, 2 strikes. Cornelio sets. Here's the pitch. Nice take from Moreno right there. It's going to be ball 1 on the slider. That's outside. As Moreno just looking to put the ball in place somehow. A fly ball would be nice just to bring in Carroll right here. And Gabby's going to call time really quick. And the key to this Nationals ball club right now is just if their bullpen can just stay strong the rest of the game, it's going to pay dividends for them. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Moreno. Here's the pitch. He's going to foul that one out of play. Count remains the same. And with no outs, this is going to be the 15th pitch for Cornelio in this relief appearance. He sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a very high fastball. Moreno checks his swing. Fouls that one off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Once again to Gabriel Moreno. Cornelio sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a drive to center field. That's going way back, all the way to the warning track. Jacob Young is going to catch it. But Corbin Carroll is going to score with ease. And Perdomo also advances as well to second base. And just like that, it's going to be a 4-2 ball game. As Gabriel Moreno has another RBI to his name today. Gets the job done. It's going to be 1 out, runner on second base, 4-2 D-backs. And great awareness by Perdomo there also to move up. As the D-backs still have a runner in scoring position. And that's going to bring up Ketel Marte, who has an opportunity to extend this lead even more. And with the way the Nationals have been hitting recently, you just want to score as many runs as possible, as they can strike back in an instant. Ketel Marte is going to first pitch swing on that. Not a great pitch to swing at. He's going to pop that one out to the second baseman, Nunez. And that's going to be out number 2. Very aggressive approach from Marte, but does not pay off. That's going to be a quick out number 2, and that's going to bring up Max Kepler. Here's the first pitch to Kepler. That's going to be a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. That's going to be way upstairs for ball 1. Count is even. This is going to be the 20th pitch for Cornelio, so I'm thinking the Nationals will turn to someone else next inning. And that's going to be a drive to right field. Just gets under it, though. James Wood is going to get under that. Looks very good off the bat, but dies down. And that's going to be a 4-2 lead for the D-backs as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. As that was a great offensive showing for them. As the offense is looking a lot better today than yesterday. They're getting runners on base. They're hitting home runs. And yesterday, outside of the 3rd inning, the rest of the ball game, the D-backs offense just looked terrible, honestly. So much better showing today. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, D-backs up 4-2. For the Nationals, I do believe it's going to bring up Nunez in the 9th hole, and then the top of the lineup with James Wood and Chaparro. And Kohl Drake definitely has settled down a bit, so I believe as long as he keeps it up, he will be able to go a little bit longer in this game. Here's the first pitch to Nunez. That's going to be an inside cutter for ball 1. Nunez 0 for 1 today. That changeup is going to miss low as well for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. That's going to be fouled back out of play. And that was the 60th pitch for Drake. It looks like the D-backs are going to have action in the bullpen. Jonathan Loaizaga warming up. And that cutter's going to miss high and away for ball 3. As Nunez, a guy you do not want to get on base, he can still second in a heartbeat. And that's going to miss upstairs for ball 4. And just like that, just like I feared, Nunez on first base. No outs. Great start for the Nationals this inning. And that's going to bring up the top of the order for Washington. James Wood, he is 0 for 2. As this will be the 3rd time the Nationals will go through their lineup. It's going to be a first pitch ball. 1-0. Drake is set. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a drive to center field. That's going deep to the warning track. And that's going to get out of here as James Wood ties the game in the bottom of the 5th inning. His 29th home run of the season. As that had a lot of carry to it, to straight center. And just like that, the Nationals come back and tie the game in the bottom of the 5th inning. What a game so far for both sides. Not great pitch location from Kohl Drake, as James Wood takes that one for a ride. And I think Kohl Drake is going to have to come out of this game soon. And actually, that is going to bring out Kohl Drake. Just like that. With the 4th run given up right there. Looks like Jonathan Loaizaga is going to come into this ballgame to relieve him. Wow. Off the bat, I had a feeling I was getting out of here. That had a lot of carry to it. As the home runs, I believe that's the fourth home run total for both sides. D-backs have 2, Nationals have 2. And just like that, it's a tied ball game in the bottom of the 5th. A much rougher outing for Kohl Drake than the one in his major league debut against the Athletics, but Nationals a much tougher lineup. And once we come out of the commercial break, it's going to be Chaparro up to bat against Loaizaga. And now I believe it's going to be a battle of the bullpens. So whichever bullpen can just have a stronger game for the rest of this game, I believe that team will come out on top. I hate to see that for Kohl Drake, as I mentioned. Would have loved to have another quality start to give him confidence in his young career. That's going to bring up Jonathan Loaizaga, though, as I mentioned. He has a 2.02 ERA through 43 games, just pitching phenomenal this season out of the bullpen. Has been a great addition to this ball club. And that's going to bring up Chaparro. Actually, no. Looks like there's going to be a pinch hitter for Chaparro. That's actually going to be Dalen Lyle. As the Nationals are going to play the matchup and bring in a lefty, that's going to be strike 1 to Lyle. who had a great triple in yesterday's ball game. And that changeup is going to miss outside for ball 1. One. That's going to hit opposite field to left field. Going to drop right in front of Kepler as he cannot get to it. That's going to be a base knock off the bench for Dalen Lyle. A great piece of hitting from him. And just like that, runner on first base with still no outs. That's going to bring up Dylan Cruz in the 3-hole. The go-ahead run on first base. As somehow that sinker is going to miss outside. I thought it clipped the outside of the zone. I would have loved a challenge out of that, but nonetheless, it's going to be ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to miss downstairs on the sinker for ball 2. As hopefully Loizaga can recover from that leadoff base knock. We'll lead off to him, not of the inning, but 2 balls, no strikes. That's going to be chopped foul for strike 1. A double play ball would be huge here. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that's going to be chopped down the third baseline for strike 2. It's going to be an even count. And after this ball game, the D-backs will head to Pittsburgh to continue their road trip. Another very important series in this heated up National League wildcard race. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be somehow fouled off. Cruz just gets a piece of that. I do want to see who the Nationals are facing next series, as they are also in the hunt for this wild card, for a wild card spot. Once again, 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner on first base, no outs. And that's going to be a pickoff move to first base. Just trying to keep Lyle close. Loizaga sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball. Just gets fouled down the third base line. Looked pretty scary for a second if that stays fair. With Lyle's speed, want to be careful there. After this inning, I will take a look around the league and see what other teams are playing on this Sunday afternoon. Yesterday, not a lot of teams playing while I was commentating the D-backs game, but today should be very different. Long at bat right here. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Dylan Cruz. And that's going to be a drive to left center. He got a hold of that one to the warning track. And Tim Tall was just going to get there for a loud out number 1. As it doesn't matter if it's the starting pitching, the bullpen. Both teams just ripping the ball to the warning track. And here comes a big at bat right here. That's going to bring up CJ Abrams, who's 1 for 2 with a solo shot. Definitely want to be careful of him here. Here's the first pitch. And that's going to be a drive to right center. And that's going to get out of here for a 2-run shot to give the Nationals a 6-4 lead, as CJ Abrams just cannot be stopped in this series. He is locked in. That's a 399-foot shot, as that just leaped off the bat to get out of here. And CJ Abrams just continues his tear of a season, as he has just seen the ball well this series. And that was one of the first home runs that just right off the bat I knew it was out. Very unfortunate for Jonathan Loaizaga. That's going to bring up Brady House. And as I mentioned, it's going to be a battle of the bullpens, and so far, the D-backs not winning that one. Dude, I know. Like I mentioned, if you're at the Washington Nationals ball game, or if you're at the game right now, what a great game to witness. And that's going to be a quick strikeout for Brady House. That's going to be out number 2. I wasn't even paying attention to that at bat, as I am going to have nightmares tonight from CJ Abrams. That's going to bring up Jacob Young. First pitch sinker for a strike. And that's going to go opposite field. Gonna drop, but Corbin Carroll makes a great sliding catch in right field. That's gonna end the inning, as that could have been very dangerous. If that gets by Corbin Carroll at Jacob Young's speed, that could have been very dangerous. And Jonathan Loaizaga is able to get out of this inning, but not before giving up a 2-run shot to CJ Abrams to give the Nationals a 6-4 lead, as we now head to the top of the 6th inning. What a ball game so far. Gosh, CJ Abrams is just incredible, man. I mean, I knew he was great this season, but obviously this is the first time. Actually, I'm not sure if the D-backs and Nationals have already played. I'll have to double check that, but let's check around the league and see what's going on with other games. And Petra, I'm assuming you are a Nationals fan. I'm sure it's just been a very fun season to watch for them, especially at the plate. I was talking about it yesterday, but like, even if James Wood and Abrams are having an off day, which does not happen often, um, they just have that kind of lineup to where they have so many great quality hitters. I mean, looking at Lyle, Dylan Cruz is having a pretty consistent season so far. Garcia, geez, Garcia has been tearing it up this season. Looking around the league, I'm mainly going to be focusing on teams that are also fighting for a wild card spot. The Marlins are beating the Padres 3-1, and I have no idea what happened to the Marlins. They're like on an 11-game losing streak after doing great in the wild card race. The Pirates are beating the Cubs 8-4. That's going to be a big game to watch in terms of the wild card race. That is going to bring up Nolan Arenado to start the top of the 6th. And it looks like Cornelio is going to go back out there for the mound. He's at 21 pitches. That's going to be a fastball outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's going to be upstairs on the slider for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike. Great fastball right there. Is Arenado's going to challenge it? No. That definitely clipped the zone. And most likely, Arenado is going to lose this challenge. He is. That's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the D-backs down to 1 challenge in this game. Nationals still have 2. Count is even at 2-2. Here's the pitch. That slider's going to miss upstairs for ball 3. It's going to be a full count. I was hoping for Arenado to do some more damage against Michaelis. He's had great numbers against him in his career, but Arenado 0 for 2. Here's the full count pitch. That would have been ball 4, but on the fastball outside, Arenado takes a hack at it, though, fouls that one off. Cornelio is approaching 30 pitches, so I don't think they let him go long in this inning. Full count pitch again. That's going to be fouled off out of play once again. Ay, ay, ay. My bad, folks. I have a setting on my Xbox to where it turns off if I do not touch the controller in a while. Exactly what happened. Not watching the I'm usually pretty good at not letting that happen, but DJ Abrams. Should be back watching it. Okay. Looks like Arenado was able to get on base. I'm assuming he walked. And that's going to be a shot to left center. And Dylan Cruz is going to get under that for out number 1. I hate when that happens. But, hey, we're back to watching now. We're good. That's going to bring up Tyler Locklear. With 1 out, a runner on first base. That's going to be a ball 1 low. And if the D-backs can hit a 2-run home run of their own, that would be incredible right here. I would love that. 1-0 to Locklear. Here's a pitch. That's going to be a swing and miss on the fastball for strike 1. Okay, so Washington did play the D-backs earlier this season. They did play him at Chase Field in Arizona. Okay, that's what I thought. Now it's going to be a big swing and miss on the fastball. It's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. That's going to be popped up Nunez is going to get that in foul territory. That's going to be out number 2. With Tim Tawa coming up the bat. Once again, a big win for both ball clubs potentially today. Not only for the series finale to take the series, but just with the intense wildcard race that's happening right now. It's going to bring up Tim Tawa. As I mentioned, he's 0 for 2 with 2 pop-ups. Hopefully he can do something different right here. Here's the first pitch to Tawa. That's going to be upstairs on the slider for ball 1. A lot of action going on in the D-backs bullpen. It's going to be Ryan Thompson and Kevin Ginkel warming up. Big swing and miss on the slider. Tawa comes up empty for strike 1. And if Tawa can somehow keep this inning going with Corbin Carroll on deck, that would be very nice. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tawa. That's going to miss upstairs for ball 2. As Cornelio almost at 40 pitches. He's at 38. Two balls, 1 strike. That's going to miss upstairs once again for ball 3. Tawa in a great hitter's count right here. It's going to be 3 balls, 1 strike. Runner on first base, 2 outs. That's going to be a swing and a miss. Not a very confident swing from Tawa there. It's going to be a full count now. As Arenado will be going on this pitch at first base. Big pitch coming up. Cornelio sets. Here we go. And that's going to be driven to right field. Just gonna get out of play though. As Arenado has to run back to first. Once again, it's going to be a full count. Cornelio sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball. Gets under it. To James Wood in right field. He's going to get under that for the 3rd out of the top of the 6th. The Nationals maintain their lead 6-4 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And it looks like the Nationals do host the Toronto Blue Jays, actually, in their next series starting tomorrow. So nonetheless, obviously you do want to get wins, but not as much pressure as it is against an American League team. Other than the Marlins and the Pirates, though. Oh, okay, so the Cincinnati Reds and the Cardinals are playing right now. Cardinals are winning 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Another important team in the wildcard race. And that is going to bring in Ryan Thompson to pitch in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3.82 ERA, but I gotta say, in his last appearance against St. Louis, he did not look good at all. So I'm really hoping he can have a better outing, but I believe the D-backs had a 10-2 lead in the bottom of the ninth, just looking to close it, and he gave up 4 straight runs. So I'm a bit surprised he's coming in to pitch in a game that we're trying to keep close. But it's going to bring up Harry Ford to lead off the bottom of the 6th. That's going to be a sinker that misses low for ball 1. Going to be Ford, Luis Garcia Jr., and Nunez. 1-0. That's going to be fouled out of play for strike 1. Harry Ford, he's 0 for 1. He had a walk in the 2nd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's going to be sliced into right center. Corbin Carroll's going to run that one down, though, for out number 1. That's going to bring in Luis Garcia Jr. He's 0 for 2 so far. Very questionable strike call. That one was pretty low. Definitely a ball, but Garcia's not going to challenge. It's going to be strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. That's going to be strike number 2 on the slider. No balls, 2 strikes. That's going to miss low and away on the sinker. Another slider that misses outside. It's going to be ball 2. The count is even. That's going to be a rip to right field. That's going to go back, and that's going to get just off the right field wall. It's going to be an extra base hit for Garcia. He's going to stroll into second base with a 1-out double as the Nationals threatening with potential to extend this lead. As he absolutely ripped that one. Not great pitch location from Thompson. That's going to bring him Nasim Nunez. A runner on second base. 1 out. That was Garcia's 17th double on the year. As another Nationals hitter that's just been tearing the ball up this season. Here's the first pitch. Another questionable strike call. As the ump is not afraid to call that low strike, but another one that I think that was a ball, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be strike 1 then Nunez. Great pitch from Thompson there. Slider just clips the lower outside corner. Strike 2. And as I mentioned earlier, even with Nunez at the bat, even with a runner, I'm sorry, there's no double play ball. I was about to mention the double play ball, but there's a runner on second. Nunez is going to check a swing on that low sinker, ball 1. And Nunez, he's going to give that a ride to right field. Carroll is going to get under it, though. That's going to be out number 2. As Thompson is 1 out away from getting out of this inning unscathed. Absolutely a guy you do not want to get loose. James Wood already has a big home run in this game. He tied it 4-4 earlier. The dead center. To be a big out if Thompson could get it. And Thompson is going to look Garcia back to second base. As Washington is booing Ryan Thompson. That's a second straight step off the mound. And Thompson does have a pretty tricky move. I think he's just trying to get the out at second base just to end the inning. And it looks like the D-backs are actually going to intentionally walk James Wood, as they want no part of that. Going to be runners on first and second now. And that is going to bring in a new pitcher. It's going to bring in Brandon Garcia, who's absolutely one of my favorite guys out of the bullpen, as we head to a commercial break. And I believe that's going to bring out Dalen Lyle, who came in to pinch hit earlier for Chaparro. All right. Still in a commercial break. I'm absolutely hoping that Brandon Garcia can just get a big out, number 3 right here, to not make this lead get out of hand more than it already is. I also need to use the bathroom, so hopefully this is a quick out right here. Looking at the stats for Brandon Garcia in his last 13 innings pitched, no runs given up, 19 strikeouts. He has absolutely been dominant this season, so 1.69 ERA, a big opportunity right here to limit the damage. And as I mentioned, that's going to bring in Dalen Lyle once again. He had a base knock in the 5th inning when he came in to pinch hit. Lefty on lefty matchup. Here's the first pitch to Lyle. That's going to be an inside sweeper for ball 1. One ball, no strike. That's going to be a swing and a miss. Count is even at 1-1. Here's the pitch. That's going to be well outside on the sweeper, but nonetheless, Lyle takes a hack at it. It's going to be strike number 2. And Garcia 1 strike away from getting out of this. One ball, 2 strikes. Big pitch right here. That's going to be a fly ball into left field. Kepler's going to get under that easily, and that's going to be out number 3. A great job by Garcia not to allow any more runs to score. Just like that, we're going to head to the top of the 7th inning as the D-backs need to get a rally going soon. All right, I will be right back. Alrighty. Sorry about that. There was a line for the bathroom. Okay. So it looks like the D-backs offense has not been able to do much in the top of the 7th. But Gabriel Moreno did just hit a 2-out double. That's going to bring up Ketel Marte. He's going to take off-speed pitch in the dirt. Ball 1. Vanek looks like he just came in to relief for the Nationals. Just trying to catch myself up to speed. But Ketel Marte is going to be up in the count 1-0 with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. As even if it's just 1 run, D-backs just need to chip away. Here's a 2-0 pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 3. Max Kepler is going to be on deck. He's 0 for 3. Here's a 3-0 pitch to Marte. That's going to be a big rip. Swings out of his shoes on that one. It would have been ball 4, but a very violent swing from Ketel Marte. I hope he's okay. Three balls, 1 strike to Marte. Runner on second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a swing and miss at a curveball in the dirt. Is not great plate discipline from Ketel Marte. That would have been 2 straight balls. As Ketel Marte just trying to get the lead back or tie the game with 1 swing of the bat. Here's the full count pitch, and that's going to be right. Gosh, Ketel. And then Ketel just lets a slider go right down the middle. That was not a great at bat from him at all. Very disappointing right there. And that's going to take us to the bottom of the 7th inning. Nationals still up 6-4. That was a hard at bat to watch, honestly. Ketel Marte, well ahead, 3-0 in the count. Swings at 2 straight balls, and then lets a perfectly good slider just go right by him for strike 3. As I believe Brandon Garcia will be coming back out for the D-backs in relief after only getting the 1 out last inning. And D-backs now with 2 more innings offensively, at least tie this ball game. I believe that's going to bring up Dylan Cruz, CJ Abrams, and Brady House for the Nationals in the bottom of the 7th. And as I mentioned, Brandon Garcia will be coming back out on the mound. Hoping to give the D-backs offense a chance by still keeping it a 2-run lead. Still waiting for the first batter to come up to bat, by the way. All right, that is going to bring up Dylan Cruz to lead off the bottom of the 7th. He is 1 for 3 with a double. Here's the first pitch. He's going to be first pitch swinging. That's going to get right past the glove of Nolan Arenado at third base. Into left field for a base knock to start the bottom of the 7th. As the Nationals looking to extend this lead with a string of base hits if they can make it happen. Here comes the man. The man today, the man in this series. It's going to bring up C.J. Abrams. Who has 2 home runs today. Had a home run yesterday. And even with the lefty on lefty matchup, it does not matter. Definitely a guy you want to be careful around. 0-2 pitch is going to be outside on the sweeper for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 C.J. Abrams. Garcia sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the sweeper outside. Big strikeout right there from Garcia. As you do not want to let Abrams get any piece of contact on the ball. That's going to be a big out, number 1. That's going to bring up Brady House. That cutter is outside on the first pitch. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a line drive into left center. That's going to split the gap and go all the way to the wall. Cruz is rounding third base. And he's going to score. Not a great throw from the outfield. Misses the cutoff man. And just like that, Washington extends their lead to 7-4. As a great double by Brady House there. As even with getting Abrams out to strike out, the next batter gets the job done. That was Brady House's 9th double on the year. That's going to be a first pitch ball to Brady House. D-Rex going to challenge us. I don't know if that's the best challenge from Gabby there. And it's going to be a losing challenge. As the D-backs burn their 2nd challenge of the ballgame. They're out of challenges. Moreno must have known that that was a strike, but he is wrong. Usually pretty good at those, but very unfortunate late in this ballgame. You're down 3 runs. You definitely want to have at least 1 challenge to use at the plate, and just like that, D-backs burn that one. Jacob Young, he's going to have an even count 1-1. That's going to be a ground ball just past the glove of Arenado. House is going to round third. He's going to score as well. And just like that, the Nationals are making their presence known late in this game, trying to diminish any hopes of the D-backs coming back. And somehow just gets under the glove of Nolan Arenado. Thought he might have been able to backhand that, but just gets past him. Usually a play that Arenado makes. And Young was also able to get into second base on that with his 13th double of the season. And just like that, it's not looking good for the D-backs. As I was hoping this would be a quick inning for Garcia, just to get the D-backs a shot, but now the D-backs offense is really going to have to make something happen in their last 2 innings at the plate. Very unfortunate for Brandon Garcia, who has just been super solid this year. And that's going to bring up Harry Ford. 1 out for runner on second. As the Nationals have another opportunity to get another run on the board. Ford is going to be down early. No balls, 2 strikes. As a second straight game where the Nationals bats are just hot. That sweeper's going to be in the dirt for ball 1. Eight extra base hits for the Nationals. Unbelievable. That's just... As a hitting coach, gotta love that. One ball, 2 strikes to Harry Ford. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss inside for ball 2. Count is even. Luis Garcia waiting on deck. He ripped a double in his last at-bat. That's going to be strike 3 on the inside part of the zone. Just clipped it. Nice bounce back from Garcia, but it might be too late. Going to be 2 outs. Runner on second base. And that's going to bring up Nasim Nunez. As you absolutely need to get him out right now. You do not want to face James Wood in the top of the lineup. I'm sorry, not Nunez. It's going to be Garcia and then Nunez, my bad. It's going to be Luis Garcia Jr. at the plate. Ball 1 for him. That's going to be fouled off out of play. One ball, 1 strike. That's just going to miss low on the sweeper. Two balls, 1 strike. That's going to miss low 2 as well. Ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Garcia needs it now right here. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a nice strike. Sinker low and away. Going to be a full count. Runner on second base, 2 outs. Big pitch right here. That's going to be chopped to the pitcher. Garcia's going to step and throw, and he throws it away. Are you kidding me? And that's going to bring in the 9th run for the Nationals, as Garcia with a chance to get out of the inning. As that was a very slow tapper to his right. Had to get to that very fast and make a strike to first base, but just absolutely unravels on the throw. And just like that, it's going to be a 9-4 ball game for Washington, as this game is absolutely getting out of reach with the way the D-backs have been hitting in the later portion of this ball game. Unfortunate to say, but I believe this game could possibly be over. The D-backs not get a last-minute rally going. I think Garcia was able to stay on first. Ay, man. And it sucks because the first 2 games were super competitive. The D-backs won 3-2. Nationals won yesterday 5-3. For this game to be 9-4, it's just like the bullpen just completely folded for the D-backs. Looking at around the league, Marlins still beating the Padres 3-1 in the top of the 8th. Pirates still beating the Cubs 8-5 in the top of the 9th. And the Cardinals and Reds. The Reds did come back to tie it. It's now 2-2 in the bottom of the 6th, but not a great game by the D-backs today. As the pitching just absolutely just did not come to play today. It's going to be Kevin Ginkel who's going to be pitching out for the D-backs. 3.14 ERA. And looking just to get a quick out to limit the damage, but the damage has already been done. A 5-run comeback with 2 innings left. Not looking great. That's going to bring up Nasim Nunez, the switch hitter. He's going to be batting from the left side this time. That's going to be a strike on the outside part of the zone. And actually, Garcia was able to get to second base. I think the ball went out of play. So it's going to be a runner on second base, 2 outs. Nasim Nunez, he's down 0-1. That's going to be a ball outside to make it an even count, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. And that's going to be a rip to left center. And Tawa makes a great diving catch in center field. Just to save a run right there. I don't know if it'll make a difference with the lead the Nationals have, but that was a great catch by Tim Tawa in center field. Full extension right there. As that ball was dying, and just like that, we're going to head to the top of the 8th inning with the D-backs 6 outs left to get anything going in these last 2 innings. Nationals leading 9-4. We head to the top of the 8th. Oh, man. These are the worst kind of games to commentate. Not only when it's a blowout, so it's not as exciting, but a blowout in favor of the opposing team. Well, Peptrill, if you are still in the stream, I hope you've been enjoying the game. I'm pretty sure you have, with the Nationals having a 9-4 lead right now. I mean, going into the series, I already knew the Nationals lineup was insane. When they are on a roll, they're honestly one of the best lineups in the National League, in my opinion. So pretty much every game I knew was just going to come down to pitching. But yeah, out of all 3 games, this has been the best not the D-backs, the Nationals have looked at the plate. That's going to bring in Tom Cosgrove in relief for the Nationals. Through 5 games, has not given up a run. And it looks like actually Ryan Walshman will be pinch hitting for Max Kepler right now. Hopefully he can get a rally started. That's going to be ball 1 to Waldschmidt. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be... He fouls that one off into the catcher's glove for strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. That's a great sweeper. Falls right in the outside of the zone for strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes to Waldschmidt. Here's the pitch. Just outside on the sinker. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nolan Arenado waiting on deck. Count's even. Cosgrove sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be chopped foul. Two balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be a fly ball to center. It has a chance of dying. And Young dives for it, but cannot come up with the ball as it just falls out of the glove as he hits the ground. And just like that, Ryan Walshman with a lead-off double. As that was a great effort by Jacob Young in center. He's able to get to the spot where the ball lands, but the ball just pops out of the glove at the last moment. Great hustle by Ryan Walshman to get into second base. And just like that, the D-backs have a runner on second base with no outs. It's going to be Nolan Arenado coming up to the plate. As hopefully that sparks something. Going to be a sinker high and outside for ball 1. Arenado, he's 0 for 2. He walked in the 6th inning. That's going to be a great sweeper. Cosgrove's sweeper has great break on it. As that landed at the top of the zone for strike 1. One ball, 1 strike to Arenado. Here's the pitch. And somehow that's a called strike on the outside part of the zone. Definitely looked a bit outside, but D-backs with no challenges. Gonna be strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cosgrove sets. Here's the pitch. That's gonna miss upstairs for ball 1. Count's gonna be even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be a rip down the left field line. Out of play, though. Two balls, 2 strikes to Arenado. That's going to be a fly ball. Abrams has a chance. And what a great catch by Abrams to get all the way out there in foul territory. He had a lot of ground to cover there. That's a big out, number 1. Out for a second. Dylan Cruz might call him off, but Abrams, great range right there. And that's going to be out number 1, as I mentioned. It's going to bring up, actually, Eldemaro Vargas. He is pinch hitting for Del Castillo. His D-backs looking just to play matchup ball right here, and hopefully it pays off. That's going to be a first pitch sweeper, as Cosgrove leaning on that pitch a lot. No balls, 1 strike to Vargas. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a blooper in a center field. And Waldschmidt is going to be held up at third base, as Jacob Young was able to get to it pretty quickly. And just like that, runners on the corners with 1 out. And so far, one of the best D-backs offensive innings in a while. Because even if it's just like a couple of runs, just chip away slowly and surely. Here comes Tyler Locklear, who did a lot of damage to runners in scoring position in that St. Louis game. Hopefully he can replicate that. Jeez, that sweeper is so nasty. It is so hard to tell where it's breaking and gonna land. That's gonna be strike 1 to Locklear. Locklear 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning. That's gonna be a fly ball to center field. Jacob Young is going to get under that. Looks like that is going to bring in 1 run on the sacrifice fly from Locklear, as Waldschmidt runs into home plate. And just like that, the D-backs are able to chip away. Get a run across, but nonetheless, 2 outs with a runner on first. Would have liked to see Locklear drive that a little bit more. That was a meatball kind of pitch, but just got a bit under it. Nonetheless, though, D-backs get a run back. It's now going to be 9-5 Nationals. And Tim Tawa swings at the first pitch. That's going to be an easy fly ball to James Wood. And just like that, the rally ends. We're going to head to the bottom of the 8th inning. D-backs only able to get 1 run back. It's still a 9-5 ball game in favor of Nationals. We head to the bottom of the 8th. And even when we get an out, or even when we get an inning, even when we get a rally going, man, just nothing special happens. Jeez, man, Mizrachi in Milwaukee has pitched 5 innings with 12 strikeouts. All right. If the D-backs want any chance of coming back, they need a 1-2-3 inning from the bullpen right here. Maybe Kevin Ginkel coming out to the mound once again. He has a tall task though, facing the top of the lineup. Here comes James Wood. He's going to be down 0-1. That's going to miss upstairs for ball one. One ball, one strike. And James Wood is going to call time. One is the count. That's going to be driven opposite field to left center. That has a drive to it. And James Wood hits his second home run of the ball game. That's his 30th on the year. As CJ Abrams and James Wood are just tearing it up today. Oh my goodness, man. And just like that, I think that's the dagger. That is the dagger. Jeez, man. James Wood gives one a ride to opposite field. Another one that was gone right off the bat. That's going to bring up Lyle. He's first pitch swinging. Walshman in left field is going to run in to catch that one for out number one. But damage has already been done. Well, I thought CJ Abrams was going to be giving me nightmares tonight. James Wood also joins the club. Gonna be ball one to Dylan Cruz. Gonna be a slider, just clips the lower outside part of the zone. Strike one. One. That slider's gonna be low and outside. Ball two. And Cruz is gonna give that one a ride. And that's just gonna drop to the right. A Ryan Walshman, he cannot get to that one. That's gonna be a 1-out single. And here comes CJ Abrams. If he has a 3-homer game today, man. Okay, he's going to swing at the first pitch, but nonetheless, that's going to get past Ketel Marte in second base. Going to go to right field. That's going to move up the runner. That's a base knock. Abrams is 4 for 5. Yeah, this game is over. Comes Brady House, who also has had a phenomenal game at the plate. Playing at third base instead of Curtis Mead, who's in Boston. Gonna be ball one to House. Oh my gosh. Please stay foul. Okay. That was a great swing, great contact, and gets out of play. One ball, one strike to Brady House. Runners on first and second, one out. That's going to be a ground ball, though. Perdomo's going to grab it, flip it a second, go on the first. That's going to be an inning double play. But not before James Wood strikes again. It's another solo shot, and just like that, the lead is back to 5 as the Nationals are winning 10-5 as we head to the top of the 9th inning. I believe for the D-backs, that is going to bring up I want to say the top of the order, Harold Perdomo Moreno, which is, if you want any hope at a comeback, these are the guys you want up, but yeah, I'm surprised too, man. I think if the lead was definitely a lot closer, they probably would have, but that James Wood home run was absolutely the dagger. And I think the D-backs are just looking to get on a plane to Pittsburgh as fast as possible. It's like it's already bad enough if CJ Abrams or James Wood has an excellent performance at the plate, just one of them. But two of them at the same time, and they both have 2-run home run games, like that is just, there's nothing you can do about that. Like, as much as I love my Diamondbacks, like when you have to score an insane amount of runs to counterattack that, It's gonna bring up Crook. Hoping to get a quick 3 outs against this D-backs offense. Gonna be a 2-0 count as Corbin Carroll leads it off. Two balls, no strikes. That's gonna be strike one. I will say, Peptrell, I really do appreciate you sticking around, though. I mentioned this yesterday, but like, when the ball games get out of reach, and they're not as fun to commentate, it is nice to talk ball and chat and have conversations. That's gonna be a strike. As it's now 3 balls, 1 strike to Corbin Carroll. And that's going to be ball 4, as the sinker is well inside. As the D-backs have some life to them, but it's not going to matter if we can't string along some hits. Here comes Geraldo Perdomo. He's 1 for 2, 2 walks, solo home run. Had a much better day at the plate today. That's going to be ball 1 to Perdomo. One ball, no strikes. That's going to be outside for ball 2. Honestly, it's going to take the D-backs loading the bases right now. That's the only way this gets interesting. Bases loaded with at least like 1 out. That's the only way. That's going to be a sweeper that also misses inside for ball 3 as Crook Not able to find the plate right now. Gonna be Gabriel Moreno waiting on deck. That's gonna be ball 4, 4 straight balls. And just like that, back-to-back walks. That's going to be an early meeting as the pitching coach comes out to talk to Crook. Runners on first and second with no outs. That's going to bring up Gabriel Moreno. It's going to be Gabriel Moreno in the 3-hole. That's going to be a sinker that misses low and away. As you can hear, the Nationals fans, they are not happy with Crook's performance right now. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be a sinker in there for strike 1. As National fans clap him up right there. It's going to be Clayton Beecher warming up in the bullpen though for the Nationals, just in case Crook cannot get some quick outs. That's going to be sinker in the dirt for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike to Moreno. That's going to be a great sinker. Flips the outside part of the zone. That's going to be strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And if Crook can get a big out, especially against Gabriel Moreno, that would be huge for the Nationals. And Gabby's going to call time. Counts even 2-2. Here's the pitch. That's going to be well outside for ball 3. And Crook is in danger of a 3rd straight walk to load the bases with no outs. Wow. Crook is not able to look at the batter. And it's actually going to be a pitcher's violation. As that's now going to load the bases as that was ball 4 on the violation. And it's now going to be bases loaded with no outs. And that is going to bring in Clayton Beeter. As Crook is not able to get the job done as we go to a commercial break. Bases loaded with no outs. Hey, this is exactly what I was talking about. That's the only way this game is going to get interesting. And it's now going to bring up Ketel Marte with the bases loaded and no outs. As this gets very interesting. And here comes Clayton Beater in relief for Crook. As he was able to shut down the game yesterday. Gonna get called to do it today after Crook loads the bases with no outs. And Marte, oh my gosh, bro. Are you kidding me? Terrible pitch to swing at from Marte. He jams it and kind of pops it up to second base. It lands in front of CJ Abrams because Perdomo kind of gets in the way. They're going to call interference on Perdomo. And just like that, that's going to be a quick out. It's just like that. It's going to be one out with runners on the corners. As that just killed any momentum the D-backs had going. It's tell Marte, the last two at-bats he's had have just been awful. Very disappointed. I know Ketel Marte had a big 2-run home run earlier in the game, but you cannot have those kind of at-bats. I guess it is going to be bases loaded still. Okay, never mind. So it's going to be one out with the bases loaded. And I guess it was a break for the D-backs. I'm calling interference as it could have been a triple play, but nonetheless, I'm very disappointed with Marte's effort there. That was not a great at-bat at all. If you're going to swing at the first pitch, you got to make it count, and that was just awful. Going to be 1-1 though to Ryan Waldschmidt. But a great double on his last at bat. Hopefully he can do something similar. 1-1. And that's going to be through the hole. And that's going to score 1 run at least. What a great piece of hitting by Ryan Waldschmidt right there. Just gets passed by CJ Abrams into left field. The D-backs have something brewing right now. It's now going to be 6-10. And that's going to bring up Nolan Arenado. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a slider. Was called a ball. Washington does challenge. They're probably going to win this, as it will be strike one. And that is the case, yes, strike one. No balls, 1 strike to Arenado, as he is the tying run at the plate. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the slide. That's going to be strike 2. Arenado going to have to protect here. No balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded with 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a chopper. Arenado's going to have to hustle. And House is going to get the for sure out at first base. A run does score to make it 7-10. But just like that, D-backs down to their final out now. Runners on second and third. Here comes Eldemaro Vargas as he is the last chance for the Diamondbacks down to their final outs. It's going to be 2 outs, runners on second and third. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be Outside for ball 1. And the D-backs have made it interesting this inning, but with the way the Nationals just have hit in the later portion of this game, just made it a bit too much out of reach. 1 ball, no strikes to Vargas. Here's the pitch. Gonna be a slider in the dirt for ball 2. And Vargas, not much of a home run hitter, so honestly, just looking to get on base to extend this inning, to give the D-backs another chance. Here's a 2-0 pitch. And that's going to miss upstairs for ball 3. And Vargas with a huge chance to get on base, with Tyler Locklear waiting on deck. And he absolutely has the ability to hit one out of the ballpark. Here's a 3-0 pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 4. As the D-backs continue the inning, bases loaded. And if Locklear is able to hit one in the gap, this could get very interesting right here. I mean, I'd love a grand slam, but even just one that splits the gap, goes all the way to the wall, this could get very interesting for the Diamondbacks. As Jorge Barrosa is going to pinch run for Vargas at first base to give some speed. Tyler Locklear. Please, please, even if it's just extending the inning, be great right now. Be great. Make it a good at-bat. Get a good pitch to hit. And just see what you can do with it. Beater sets, bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be in the dirt. Ball 1. The tying run on first base. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a big swing and a miss on the slider. Looking to drive that, give that one a ride, but just comes up empty. It's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike. Beater sets, bases loaded, 2 outs, 1-1 the count. And that's going to be chopped opposite field. It's going to be right to Nunez at second base. He's going to throw to first. And that is going to end the ball game. D-backs able to make it interesting in the top of the 9th. But the lead was just too much for them to handle. Bullpen just unfolds. As James Wood hits 2 home runs. CJ Abrams hits 2 home runs. And just like that, the Nationals are going to take the series finale 10-7. As the D-backs lose a second straight ball game. As a lot of work has to be done in the bullpen. I understand that the Nationals lineup, they are not to be messed around with. Especially when you have guys like James Wood and CJ Abrams lighting it up. Dylan Cruz having a great series. But now we head to Pittsburgh against another pretty good hitting ball club, who can also put up runs if you're not careful. With that being said, I honestly don't have much to say about this game. I know the D-backs were able to put up 7 runs in this ball game. Not a bad offensive showing, but there were just some at-bats that I hated watching. The Ketel Marte at-bats, his last 2 at-bats. I honestly think this game could look a lot closer if Ketel Marte, I know he had a 2-run home run earlier, but his next 2 at-bats are runners in scoring position. Was given a great opportunity to do even more damage and just comes up short. Does so in just an atrocious way, in my opinion. But nonetheless, the D-backs bullpen is just gonna have to look a lot better. I mean, when you have guys like Brandon Garcia struggling when as he's been solid all game, you know that it's just not their day to day. So it's gonna happen every once in a while. There's 162 games in a season, you know. But yeah. With that being said, that is gonna do it for me today. Though I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the stream, especially you, Petro. It was great talking to you in the chat. Um, I will be live tomorrow for game one of the Pittsburgh Pirates series as we head to Pittsburgh. It's going to be a 3:30 start time for me, 6:30 start time Eastern. As I'm hoping the D-backs play a lot better ball this series, another important series in the wild card race. I'm hoping to take at least 2 out of 3 games, but we'll see. I believe it's going to be Mitch Keller on the mound for Pittsburgh, and Merrill Kelly on the mound for the D-backs. And yeah, not much to say about this game. Definitely a very disappointing series. Yesterday was a very winnable ball game. Offense just died at the end. Today, the offense is alive, but the pitching was absolutely not good. But with that being said, that's going to do it for me today. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the live stream today. The support means everything to me. Whether you guys are just watching the stream, chatting in the stream, being a channel that just started about a week ago with these live streams, it all means the most to me. So with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the live stream. I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 3:30, 6:30 Eastern time. That's gonna do it for me today. Hope everyone has a great and safe day for the rest of the day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. See ya.